Hey guys, it's Tanya, vsgtanya2011, and I am your Tuesday vlogger for the Back to Basics channel. And this week I am going to go over an article that was published in our newspaper last week that I thought was interesting for us, WLS folks that are trying to get fit and healthy and live a healthy lifestyle. It's called Fact and Fiction, and it's 8 fallacies that in the nutrition world that we all kind of hear, but may not necessarily be true. So I'm just going to run through them just to kind of expose everybody to it. All right. So fallacy number 1: everyone should drink 8-ounce glasses of water a day. And it says it's unclear where this recommendation originated, but it's misleading for a couple of reasons. First, 64 ounces isn't necessarily how much we should all be consuming. Second, the liquids we consume don't have to be pure water. So it goes on to say that we should basically take our weight divided by 2, and that's the number of ounces you should take in a day. So for me, I'm about 165, so that would be about 82 ounces a day of liquids. Now it says that it doesn't have to be pure water. It says the fluid can be from a variety of sources, including fruits, vegetables, yogurts, and soups, as well as coffee and tea. Yes, even fully leaded coffee and tea can count towards fluid intake, which brings us to our next myth. So you can count your coffee and your tea. So I normally get at least 64 ounces of pure water every day, sometimes more. I also get about, I'm trying to think, maybe 16 to 20 ounces of coffee in the morning. And then I have a protein shake a few times a week. So that all goes towards your liquids, okay? Number 2, caffeinated beverages are dehydrating. They say that, for years, alcoholic and caffeinated beverages weren't counted towards the daily fluid goal. Blah, 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 blah. It goes on to say that the key word here is caffeinated beverages. Caffeine itself is a diuretic, meaning it increases urine output. So caffeine pills and shots, dehydrating. But the volume of water in standard servings of tea, coffee, and even soft drinks more than offset caffeine's diuretic effect. So really, coffee and tea, even though it is a slight diuretic because of the amount of liquid, it's not really. Caffeinated beverages aren't really a diuretic. You can count that towards your liquids. So that's good to know. Fallacy number 3. In order to reap any health benefits from alcohol, you've got to stick with red wine. Alright, fact. Red wine has additional health benefits from the antioxidant-rich grapes, skins, and seeds that are retained in the wine-making process. But all types of alcohol, including white wine, beer, and liquor, are associated with lower risk of heart disease. It turns out that the moderate consumption of alcohol can raise good HDL cholesterol, helps prevent blood clots, and decrease levels of homocysteine, an amino acid that's linked to increase heart attack risk. So you can have a drink, but they say the key is moderation, which is basically 1 drink a day. 1 drink a day for women and 2 drinks a day for men. Fallacy number 4: protein powders and drinks are harmful to kidneys. And it says no, and it kind of has like a big write-up about this. And what it boils down to is the person who wrote the article, who I believe is, let me see, what is I think she's a nutritionist. I'll have to go back and see. But she said that she recommends for protein levels to keep it between 0.5 gram to 1 gram per body pound of weight. So for me, being about 165 pounds, that would be in between 82 and 160 grams of protein a day. Which kind of answers a question I've been having lately, is if I was getting too much protein. Because some days, I'm always over 100 grams of protein, but sometimes I'm around 140s, and I thought, oh gosh, maybe I'm getting too much protein. But she's saying no, that's within my guidance for recommended daily value. So we really don't have to worry about that with our kidneys. So okay, Fallacy number 5, cut 500 calories a day and you'll lose a pound a week. And this kind of goes to some of the things I've been talking about in previous weeks, that because of our rested metabolic rate and it all being different for each person, that is not necessarily true. Just because you cut out 500 calories a day does not mean that you're going to lose 1 whole pound in a week. You might lose more, you might lose less. It depends on what your resting metabolic rate is. So they say, while it's good to cut out 500 calories a day, then it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to equate to an exact 1 pound drop. Fallacy number 6, diet soft drinks are high in sodium. Let's see, the recommended upper level for sodium is 2,300 milligrams per day and 1,500 for those who are 51 or older. Blah, 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 blah. And while diet soft drinks are anything but nutritious, it's a misconception that they're high in sodium. A 12-ounce can of Diet Coke, for example, has 40 milligrams of sodium. Compare that to 127 milligrams for a cup of milk, 250 milligrams for a serving of Raisin Bran, or more than 700 milligrams for a cup of cottage cheese. And the sodium in that Diet Coke is pretty insignificant. So while we shouldn't be drinking diet drinks, we shouldn't be drinking any carbonated beverages, really. If we're WLS patients, it's kind of interesting to hear that it's really not high in sodium compared to a lot of the things we are allowed to eat within our, weight loss surgery rules. And then fallacy number 7, all saturated fat is bad for you. And it basically says that no, but you should keep the fat lower. But they said that some fats, saturated fats, have no effect on cholesterol whatsoever. It says that most of the saturated fat found in chocolate, for example, is stearic acid, a type of saturated fat that appears to have a neutral impact on cholesterol levels. And a few studies have suggested a positive correlation between coconut oil and higher levels of good HDL cholesterol levels, especially when coconut oil is used in place of animal-based saturated fats such as butter. And I know a lot of people talk about coconut oil, and I've never used it yet, but I think I might start looking into what kind of recipes you would use. Do you use it in place of olive oil or, I guess, butter? But I'm not sure what the flavor would be like. Keep in mind, however, that these plant-based saturated fats are still calorie dense, clocking in around 120 calories per tablespoon. So to prevent unwanted weight gain, it is key to keep portions in check, which we know. And then the last fallacy number 8, eggs are detrimental to heart health. Fact, eggs have been shunned for decades since they were tagged in the 1970s as a culprit for raising cholesterol levels. And nearly 40 years later, that belief that eggs are bad for us still prevails, despite the fact that multiple studies have shown no correlation between eggs and heart disease. The reality is that eggs are low in saturated fat, only 1.5 grams per large egg, and most major health organizations say that they are fine in moderation as long as we limit our intake of other cholesterol-containing foods. So her recommendation is for the average healthy person, it's fine to have an egg a day. But if you already have high cholesterol, then you should probably limit it to 3 or 4 times a week. And then what she says she does, and I'll do this, I have a lot of egg white omelets, but she says she'll actually take 1 regular egg and then 3 tablespoons of egg whites to boost the protein and to limit the amount of fat. So I thought those were all kind of good recommendations. A lot of things that we probably already know what we do, but it's kind of good to see it in black and white that a professional, in the industry agrees with a lot of the things that we're doing. The only thing I'd say is to stay away from the soda. So that's my update for this week, and I'll see you back here next Tuesday for the Back to Basics WLS channel. Bye, guys.